Hi, it's Anna, and today I'm predicting the Mystery Thriller Goodreads Awards category, or am I? I was pretty confident about predicting this category. I have read 39 mystery and thriller books that came out this year, but when I started doing research for this video, I started losing hope of correctly guessing the top 20 and ended up at some point with more than 200 books to choose from.
I feel like the possibility of all those possibilities being possible is just another possibility that can possibly happen.
I am going to make 3 predictions today. First one is to make the top 20 shortlist and winner with only the books I have read. Then for the second prediction, I add the other 100 eligible books and try to make a new prediction. Finally, I will try, based on the data I collected from all the past Goodreads awards, to train my AI models to predict, and we will see what comes of it. Quick disclaimer before we get going about the third prediction. I am not using generative AI to make the prediction. I collected the data myself for all the books, and I created the AI models with code that runs on my own computer. Let's get started with my first prediction. This is the 39 books I read this year that fits the mystery genre category. I added in the special green rectangle 2 books that have often been categorized as mystery thriller, but I don't personally think they really fit. Out of those 41 books, I now remove every book that have an average rating lower than 3.5, as it has been one of the rules from the previous years. We are left with 30 books, so let's start thinking. While we have never seen 3 books by the same author making it into the list, only looking at the data, it will be very hard to justify removing any Frida McFadden book. She is getting vastly superior numbers than any of the other. Beautiful Ugly, while I think this was not a good Alice Finney book, has really good numbers too and should get a nomination. Let's start thinking about the one I can eliminate. Serial Killer Supergroup and Whispers of Dead Girls have low readership and low average rating, so they should be the first to go. High Season is also pretty low. Should I think about the one I didn't like and have not great numbers? In that case, Dead Money should get eliminated. Also, You Are Fatally Invited has pretty low average rating. Oh, disqualifying, this book will bury me because this author just used a very popular true crime case that was very recent and not yet gone to trial as the plot of her book. She also ripped off some Reddit stories, so no thank you. There are too many cozy books still competing. I think out of all, Welcome to Murder Week should go. It doesn't really have any kind of following or hype compared to the others. I really liked Retreat, but I feel like not enough people have read it to push it into a nomination seat. I kept Mask of the Deer Woman alive for so long because it fits the diversity book that they like to put in the category every year, and it was pushed a bit in the winter, but barely anyone have read it. And The Inheritance might cover this spot already, so I think we're good. The top row is my selection for the shortlist, and the little star marks the one I think is gonna win. I think 2 of Frida books might make the top 10, and having read the 3, I would prefer for The Intruder to be the one winning this. She doesn't really have a big competition this year, it feels like, so the probability she wins is pretty high. Richard Osman should also do well with the Netflix movie boosting the series a bit and the loyal fan base of the series. Vera Wong could also make top 10. People that have read the second book really liked it. Ollie Jackson, if she's keeping a YA base with this book, could also do well with her adult debut. Count My Lies has been one of the big hits number-wise this year that doesn't come from a big-name author. Alice Finney, Lisa Jewell, Gillian McAllister, and Karen Slaughter have dedicated fan base that also read their yearly release. They shouldn't have any issues with the voting part if they get into the actual top 20. The Ghostwriter was a slower paced that appealed both to the more literary mystery reader and the regular mystery thriller people. A Killing Cold wasn't memorable to me and is there by name recognition alone, but it still made sense to put it up there. with what I had available. Ashley Flowers and Stacey Willingham are more recent version of the four girlies mentioned earlier. They have a bit less of an established base, but when the books are decent like this year, they get enough traction to get competitive. The killer question might be Janice Hallett's debut nomination in the Goodreads Choice Awards. She has a unique concept that people usually really love. The niche she has loves her, but it is a very small niche. Tell Me What You Did didn't make a lot of noise, and it was a first quarter release, but it silently gained readership while keeping a high average rating. Edge Cases is definitely here because I wanted to. Also, I feel like it brings back detective book in an interesting way. If we look at it, the only other detective book on this list is We Are All Guilty here. I don't think it will survive the second prediction, but it's the only book I let myself selfishly put there. Party of Liars got a bit of a buzz. I personally don't get it, but maybe it might be enough to get a nomination. The Inheritance was an interesting read, and I feel like it was in some book boxes at some point and was a bit talked about. Let's now add the books I haven't read and the start of me second guessing everything.
I've connected the two dots.
You didn't connect shit, but
I've connected them.
I kept my top 20 from the books I read and added a new pool of 26 books that were most likely to have a chance. Starting the eliminations with books I have read, I think unfortunately Head Cases and Tell Me What You Did have to go. A Killing Cold has been surviving on the author name from the start, but from the whole list, it's the only one I keep forgetting what it's about, so let's eliminate it. Forget Me Not was also not that good. With all the big names that have appeared, I think that there is no room for 3 Frida books. Even though number-wise it still makes sense. If I have to remove one, let's go with The Crash. I think The Intruder will have the chance to be still on everyone's mind, and domestic style thriller always sells, so The Tenant is probably safe too. Honestly, with the new lineup, keeping Janice Hallett up there is not helping me. She does have a following and she's a great author, but this year looks very stacked. I don't think The Maid Secrets will make it. It feels like the series lost wind with every book. El Cozy Manor also has never been nominated, and I don't think a book will be chosen against the Vera Wong series. Kristen Perrin's second book also wasn't really talked about this year. Removing Robert Galbraith's book, even though it have the numbers and previous nominations to make it. Michael Connelly, Holland Coben, and Megan Miranda have not been selected for a while now, and I don't see it being different this year. Marble Hole Murders, Guess Again, and Everyone Is Lying to You doesn't have enough readers to make it this year, I think. Let's see what is left. Party of Liars and Too Old for This got a little bit of buzz at some point, but it didn't really translate into anything, so they'll be pretty safe to eliminate. Let's see, The Inheritance or the new S.A. Cosby book. I feel like because Cosby has been nominated a lot the past years, it has a better chance of getting the nomination. I'll go for this one. The Missing Half is a bit tricky. It is a popular book and has a decent average rating, but the seats are expensive this year and I just don't see it being competitive. This is pure vibe because it definitely has the numbers to be here. Second guessing everything now. The Business Trip, while popular, has an average ratings lower than the books still up there, so I think it should go. Similar to The Business Trip, Claire Douglas's The Wrong Sister just doesn't have that vibe. And I need to eliminate books at some point. Contrary to Richard Osman getting new readers from the movie adaptation, I don't think it'd be enough for Ruth Ware to make an appearance this year. Nora Roberts get pretty often snubbed on the mystery thriller part. The two Alex might have to go. From the books left, they are at the bottom. And I think we have our top 20. This is my final prediction, the top row being the shortlist and the little star marking the winner. I think the big fight will be between one of Frida book and Jennifer Rose. You definitely can discard a Dan Brown book, even though it looks like it's picking up slower than his previous releases. Sherry Lapina have had a best book number-wise in a while, and John Mars is back with a book that can qualify in mystery thriller rather than the sci-fi category. Strange Houses is a bit of a wild bet. We sometimes get a translated book into the mix, and without a Joe Nesbo, Strange Houses, if not put into the horror category, might have a chance to be here. Such Quiet Girls didn't make a lot of noise online, but it has great numbers. Hurtwood and What Kind of Paradise are here to satisfy the literary part of the mystery thriller genre. And would it be a Goodreads Choice Award in the 2020s without a Cosby book? Finally, let's see what the models predicted. While testing things out to see if it will be interesting or not, with the data I had, I created a lot of different models to see if one performed better, but they were pretty much stuck around 75-80% accuracy. I didn't have time to make them better, but I thought I could give the data for all the books eligible this year and see what the 15 said. I created an Excel file with a result where they initially gave me a percentage chance of it making it or not, and also a true-false if they ended up being selected or not. Here are the results. 3 books have been selected by all the models, and that is The Secret of Secrets, The Perfect Divorce, and The Maid Secrets, which is pretty interesting because I removed The Maid Secrets from my list, seeing how the previous book deteriorated in rankings last year. The books with a little cat are books that are common with my second prediction. Among the books I decided to remove and they decided to keep, we have The Missing Half, probably getting a boost with the number of people that have read it if I have to make a guess. The Robert Galbraith, I'm not surprised. I know the numbers definitely make sense and it is a personal decision to remove it. The Business Trip is a bit surprising. I didn't think the stats were so high, but it was chosen by 10 models out of the 15. They also kept the 3 Frida books, and if you are only looking at the data, it makes a lot of sense that they do. Interestingly, the models agree with me on The Crash being the weakest, as it was picked 7 times, while The Tenant got 8 and The Intruder got 9. I'll check back in when the nomination goes live and see how well my prediction went, and we will know between me and my AI models who was the best. I plan to read the long list mystery thriller in an upcoming video and tell you what my personal ranking ends up being, contrary to this video where I try to guess what the majority ends up voting for. What are your predictions and what did you think of mine? Let me know in the comments and see you next time!